Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Bronze Mercy. This Mercy is bronze. They've certainly been in silver before, went on a bit of a massive loss streak, perhaps trying to do too many things at once. So let's see if we can help them get back into silver and beyond. But if you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events there are, all that good stuff. So, here we've got a Farron and Hanzo. Excellent. Good boost targets to choose from. Okay, so you can boost the Hanzo here. This Hanzo, totally boostable. I don't necessarily dislike that, but this Fair is actually in the more aggressive position. So my preference would be, hey, if my Fair is going to be this aggressive, I want to be boosting them because I can respond to triaging them faster if they actually need healing, and this is a nice aggressive position. Whereas my Hanzo can do some work from here. I don't dislike this Hanzo positioning, but this other team is much more likely to put their defenses, like barriers, all that in this direction, whereas this Fair is more likely to do actual work and more likely to take damage, and I can pretty reasonably protect them from here. And if I'm worried about like, oh, they're going to jump up here with a Diva, a Ball, a Winston, a Genji, whatever, I can still get out to my Hanzo, get out to my Bat pretty easily. So this is where I would have preferred to start this match. Hey, Dotson. Hey, Kirill. Got scared and did the safe Hanzo boost. I get it, but it was actually pretty safe. Like, this was pretty safe. You could boost this while still having two good out options. Both your Hanzo and your BAP were easy out options if if some sort of flanker showed up here or a Hanzo climbed up and showed up here. You had good enough outs to justify it. You are looking to pocket the aggressive players if you can do so with reasonable safety. And see how long that Pharah is going to stay out of the battle, and now it's too late. Now you're going over to get the Pharah, and this is more dangerous to try to heal the Pharah. As soon as the Pharah got past about here, because here you could Guardian Angel to them and pass and heal them, it became a, whoops, my Pharah is going to be out of the fight for ages to actually get herself all the way over here, or I can heal her, or she can go get health back, or I'm going to have to go into more danger to heal her than I would have been if I just started on her right here. Okay, a little slow here to swap back to damage. That's not damage. Okay. But that Rhine is fine. You wouldn't still boost that Rhine. Like, even going to this Rhine in the first place was a little bit questionable. You're here, you see it. Yeah, was our rewind set too far? It is. So here we go. This happens. Yep. Okay, I don't know why you're looking away so hard, like you'd want to check back, but that's fine. Okay, that Rhine's fine. That Rhine just got healed back up to 50%. That Rhine is now at 30%. If you want to go now to heal them, that's fine. But by the time you get here, that Rhine's fine again, even before you connect your beam. If you want to get them up to 50, that's fine. Get them up to the armor threshold so that your BAP can potentially keep them there. I'll live, but you're already looking for, and you should already be looking for, what can I boost that'll do work? Is it going to be the Sigma? Is it going to be the Pharah? Could be either one of these. Probably, hey, the Fair is usually the better choice, but Fair is probably descending right now, which might mean, hey, they're potentially going for a reload. They're potentially thinking about getting out, so you might choose to do the Sigma or the Hanzo instead. Regardless, it's time to be off of this Reinhardt. Not the BAP. No. You have three choices that are better than your BAP. Okay, triage that a little. That's really fine. It's time to swap back. You have better targets. Hanzo just leapt. Hanzo just leapt to open the angle, which means he thinks he has something. Now, if you see the DM, you might choose to damage boost the Pharah instead, or maybe to keep healing your Reinhardt. But if your Hanzo leaps like that, that's usually a sign that he thinks he can do some work, because he leapt offensively. I don't necessarily like leaping offensively like he did, but that's what it means, and you're going to read what it means. No. We don't need to heal the full health Pharah. Damage boost is better. Good. It's a lot of that's a lot of no beam time. Okay. Your fair's looking plenty aggressive to me. Keep damage boosting them.
Let's get you back out there.
Okay. Now I can heal that. Their weapon isn't facing the opponent. Good. Okay. And now they've closed the angle, so you just swap targets real quick. You swap to your BAP or your Sigma. No, you don't need to drift over here. You can drift over here and you can beam your Sigma or you can beam your BAP. Like your Pharah went behind cover, so you go, Pharah, you're no good to me anymore. I give up on you. I'm going to boost this. I'm going to boost this. Or I'm going to cap off my Sigma real quick. Or my BAP real quick. You instead backed up passively here. Okay. Again, you want to be thinking about what she can see. This Pharah is being damage boosted while it looks like they're potentially reloading, but they're being damage boosted while they're behind a wall. They can't shoot at anything. We can't just be like, Pharah's a good damage boost target, so I'm going to boost Pharah. We have to think about, unless we're playing a true pocket style, which this Pharah is not playing aggressive enough to justify, you need to be going, hey, I rapidly beam shift. You are useless to me right now, Pharah, so I'm going to boost this Sigma because they're in a position that does work. I might prefer to boost the Hanzo, but the Hanzo's behind a wall too. And I'm pretty comfortable here. If I start getting shot at, I might take the step back and convert to healing people who are staring at a wall. But if I'm full health and they haven't really been paying attention to me, they haven't really been pestering me, I'm going to boost my Sigma right now because that's better than any of my other options. Yeah, I lowered my beam connection sense. That was a flank check rather than a BAP choice. Got it. Okay, sounds good.
You've got this.
Okay, so probably go beam your Hanzo. You see there's something interesting there. There's soldier shots going past your Hanzo. Like, you did the flank check, and you saw that shots were going past your Hanzo. So great. Let's actually connect our beam to our Hanzo and help him win this. Help him get control of this flank. Make this a disproportionate fight. That would be probably more helpful than helping your Pharah right now. Your Pharah's not in so aggressive that she's, by losing her beam, going to feed or anything. Good. Okay.
Damage boost engaged.
Yeah, so this is probably a little tricky to understand, but actually this is better than your Pharah. Like, now that your Pharah's gone super aggressive, you can justify the Pharah. This is fine. But winning the flanks helps win main. If your Hanzo wins this flank, it's either going to mean he can come in here or here and win the fight, or at the very least, it's going to stop these guys from doing the same thing. If they win the flank, they're going to come in here, and you guys are just going to lose. Like, getting control of the flanks gets you control of main. Now your Pharah is creating her own flank, her own third lane, so you can justify that, and that's fine. But when she was playing back here, your better choice was the Hanzo. Give me just 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. Stabilizing him. And you heard him say unleashed for his storm arrow there, so I get that you needed to triage him a little, but I do want this flip back to damage boost pretty darn quick. His storm arrows, ugh. Flanks are tank. Okay. Good. And you go there for the heals. Not sure why the blaster came out. You can triage this, no problem.
Enemy turret ahead. Watch yourself. Where does it hurt?
Mm-hmm. Use your Pharah to get your high ground back.
I will not waste this opportunity.
You hear that coming up the flank, and now you can support it. Perfect. And you boost the Hanzo. Oh no, you boost the Pharah. That's fine. Now the Hanzo. Okay. Understandable. Oh, there you go. Did you see your Pharah? Your Pharah actually just flashed that she was going to give you, so probably too far away. Almost certainly too far away, in fact. Let's actually go back and check if you had a window there. So this is good, helping control the flank. Your Pharah's potentially giving you a window here. You see that your Pharah is about to do something very interesting. And you can support this real quick. But supporting the Hanzo is fine too, and it gives you more ability to pivot and support these guys. Okay, go right back to your Hanzo. I'd already be leaving. Like, it's okay for you to be on her, but this soldier isn't going to come up and bother you anytime soon, so you already want to be checking back here. Keep your beam on the Pharah, but already be checking over here for, wait, do I need to react to this molten core? Do I see something that I need to react to? A triage that demands my attention. Because your Pharah is in a situation where if she can win this fight, great, but if she can't win this fight, or if she loses her beam, she does have the option to back up and make it very hard for this soldier-mercy combination to finish her. The pocket battle. Yes. But while the pocket battle is interesting, our Mercy player does want to look for, because her Pharah is not actually in danger from this pocket battle, or not in danger that's not of her own choosing, she wants to look for, while the pocket battle is interesting, is there something more important I need to do, or I can do? You're down 2, so this Valk isn't going to be able to turn things? Okay.
You should be at peak performance levels.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Now.
Yeah.
Thanks for the assist.
The dragon consume you.
Damage increased.
Use the roof. Use the roof. You're trying. Cancel. Good.
Activating the barrier.
This is winnable.
Damage boost engaged.
Yeah, so you do need to be watching the flow of this battle quickly. I don't blame you for not having used your Valk before this fight where things started to go against you, because you guys were spawn camping them. So, like, I get it. But you are looking for, you see, you have to be paying attention to how this fight is going. So here you are. You guys went down 2 people, but you got their soldier.
Damage increased.
And that Dragon Strike just got you the Ana. This fight probably doesn't look so bad anymore. We've got, what, 4 people versus their 4 people? Like, we look at this and go, wait a second. This is potentially a fight that if I can find a situation where it's going to bounce between 2 or 3 of these people, my Valk might be quite nice. As long as you don't lose your Pharah here, and you don't lose anyone before losing your Pharah, you could definitely be looking to Valk for this. I hear you. I hear you. But I would recommend, I still would say, even if your BAP hadn't come top, like as soon as you saw your Hanzo up here, that means, wait a second, our front line is going to be flimsy. I'm missing. Both of our DPS are missing. Our front line is going to be in some level of trouble if all of you are missing. Yes, they have a Pharah and a Mercy missing, but it's sort of like, wait, by definition, they have one more person there than us. Okay. Got the other thing there, but they got one back. I'd still be looking potentially to Valk this. And that's unfortunate, and now you definitely are thinking, hey, can we Valk this to lock it in?
Damage boost engaged.
Yeah. Lock in this fight.
Enemies re-engaging. I've got you.
Please? Please.
You needed a doctor?
Okay. Okay, fine. Good, you got that. I don't think you can increase the modifier on this part, so I think you'd be better off with someone else, but okay. help that, and now you can't really do much. Okay. So, like, this worked, but this worked because other people used their ults, and you don't necessarily want to have to rely on other people using their ults. Like, yes, you have to in Overwatch rely on other people using their ults, but you've had this ult. We're 39 seconds left, and we still have Valk left. Like, it's not like we used Valk and got it back. Like, we've just been holding this. Yeah, you get it. You get it. You need to look harder for the opportunity to use this. Because it's not always going to be a straight beginning of the fight 6v6. Sometimes, yes, it's more powerful in those situations because of how our chain effect works, but you still do want to look for 4v4s, 5v4s, 3v3s, less so 3v3s. 3v3s are pretty weak, but like, you know, if you've got 4 people including you on the board, and they have 4 people on the board, 3 people on the board, yeah.
Junkrat primed and ready.
Let me get you patched up.
This fight is a lot easier if you can stabilize it. This choke too. Yeah, it's a powerful choke. The number of Junkrat Widow holds that got done here in Season 1 of Owl was absurd.
30 seconds remaining.
Enemy turret ahead. Get in here.
Let them.
Okay. Why are we not on our... There you go. Okay. Okay. That's fine. You didn't need to Valk because you had the window going, and then he hit the shadow, so you're still waiting. Try to find better things to do than just this healing, though. I'm not sure why you're so heavily in heal mode. Like, surely Junkrat's giving you stuff he can do. Now you'd be perfectly happy to Valk. Perfectly. I don't care that your team is purple. You are perfectly happy to Valk this. Both of your ults are over. They have a nano ult coming at you. You absolutely Valk this. Please press Q. Please press Q. Where's our Q? Where's our Q? Like, think about how much harder it would have been for this team to advance, even with 3 of your people purple, if everyone was doing 30% more damage. Think about how much harder it would have been for these guys to continue their advance. How fast this Orisa barrier would have been deleted. How much harder it would have been for this Torb to get into a position where he's got a little bit of an off angle to throw down his ult.
10 seconds remaining.
Now they're not purple, and you're going to be losing beam time to activating your Valk, because you lose a little bit of beam time when you activate your Valk, and this would be great to be able to swap to heals here. You've got enough people missing health. You have 4 people missing health. It would be great to already be in Valk and have been able to throw a smidgen of healing on all of them, at least to get your BAP, you know, up to 60%, and in doing so, get your Hanzo to full, probably get your Junkrat pretty close to full without losing time. Now, if you go to do that, you're going to lose time to do so. Okay.
You needed a dog. We should be at peak performance levels.
I was afraid Temporal said I used Valk wrong, so I didn't use it, even when he isn't looking. Here's the thing. I'm always going to... Like, I can always tell someone that they used their ult wrong, because I can get stricter and stricter all the way up to a higher and higher standard. So being like, I just won't use it, so he won't tell me I used it wrong, isn't the way to, you know, isn't the way to avoid me doing that, because I can always find something that's been done wrong. Ult timing, engagement timing... all those things I get stricter and stricter on as we climb the ladder. So you're just going to have to suck it up and try to get it as close to right as you can. Why no res? I think we just lost too many people here. So here we are. I mean, you could get the res off, but they're very likely it's BAP, and BAP himself is not going to be able to get out, and it compromises... BAP himself is not going to get out. It compromises Mercy's ability to get away when Mercy probably can get away if she doesn't go for the res. And BAP went down at the same time as 2 other people, and we don't expect to win this with 4. Does BAP have window? BAP does not have window. So yeah, I think not resing him here is reasonable. Why do I feel like this Bronze Mercy is doing a better job than Plat Mercy? You reviewed a few days ago. I think this Mercy isn't naturally in bronze. I think this Mercy went on a bit of a tilt fest, we'll call it, and lost some games.
We should be at peak performance levels.
But also, you know, it's been more than 4 minutes and we haven't gotten any Valk value, so be a little careful with that. Be a little careful with deciding who's doing better and worse, etc. Okay. No touch, which means you have to fight on second.
I'm with you. Let me get you patched up.
My turn.
Powered up. Heilstrahl aktiviert.
Okay. Back to the junk. Good pivot.
Damage
Okay,
amplified.
you can Valk this. Your team is committed to this fight. I'm not sure why we haven't Valked this already. Now you have Dragon going, so you probably want to see how this Dragon does before you Valk. Didn't do enough. Just Valk. Just Valk and win. Please Valk and win.
Where does it hurt?
Please Valk and win. Why? Why?
Damage boost engaged.
Why? You can counter a Coalescence with Valk. Valk is better.
You needed a doctor?
I was thinking about it though. My average game now is low number of Valks. Yeah, I do not want that to be the case. Like, you could have had 3 Valks by now pretty easily. Pretty easily. You could have had 3 Valks by now. So, like, you want to use it. It's not that expensive of an ult to get wrong. Like, I will harp on, hey, get your Valk timing right, get your Valk timing right, because I'm trying to make you better, but you've clearly erred in the opposite direction. Like, having 3 poorly timed Valks is going to be worse than having 1 90% right timed Valk. Like, and that just is the case. So, like, this is a bigger problem than what we had before of, hey, our Valk timing is off, is we're not using Valk into situations that call for it. It is not the end of the world if you get a Valk wrong. If you go, hey, I pressed Q to try to win, and while I pressed Q and lost my beam for a moment because I pressed Q, I lost someone, and now it turns out I Valked into a 5v6, even though when I did it, it was a 6v6. Like, yeah, that's not perfect. But they happen. Like, yes, I'm going to always go, this is how you Valk better, this is how you Valk better, this would be a better time. But, like, you don't want to hold to the point of not getting it. There was a Valk here to be had. There were at least 2 Valk opportunities to be had up around these fights. And honestly, you can use the Valk as part of the spawn hold. It's perfectly fine to use Valk, to use ults as part of your spawn hold, to force the opponents to go, what? You're ulting us in our spawn? And to force them to use their own ults to try to break the spawn hold. So, like, we could have used Valks by now easily, and they would have been good.
I'm under attack.
Valk is too cheap of an ult to not be using it pretty frequently. Error on your part.
Damage increase.
Just leave. Just leave.
Let's get you back out there.
And you see, by not using this Valk, by not using the Valk here, they were able to sort of get things together, get going, and go do this. You totally had a chance to use Valk before your Sigma fluxed.
Damage amplified.
Yes, Johnson.
Barrier in place.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let them.
Okay. Okay.
You needed a doctor?
Not sure why you're on your Reinhardt this much. Turn to your Junkrat, Guardian Angel past him, and play from here.
Get inside.
Fine.
My ultimate is ready. never die.
Huh? I mean, it's not a terrible Valk. I get that you were scared by the Torb that ran by. It's probably not the one I would have picked, because I know that the opponents don't have anything in their ult economy, but, like, given all the Valk opportunities that we let pass by, that this is then the one we go for. I'm not actually like upset about this one. This is a, hey, we're up one. I got scared for a moment. Maybe I was worried I was going to go down. Maybe I would have gone down if the Torb had decided to fight me with his Molten Core going here. So it's actually +1 and that it saves my life. And that's totally fine because, it saves my life and it does. And it, helps us win this 6v5, which admittedly we're favored in, but, if I'd gone down, we certainly wouldn't have been favored. So, yeah, that could potentially be fine. Sure, let's go with that.
60 seconds remaining.
I've got you.
If your team's not giving you anything, just pull out your weapon. Like, if your team isn't giving you anywhere that you can get an effective chain boost off of, just pull out your weapon and say, break the turret with your, break the turret with your blaster, or whatever the case is going to be, if they're not giving you anything useful to do. Okay, this is better. And now damage boost. Damage boost away. Fine. Unfortunate that we also saw Dragon used there, but hey.
You should be at peak performance levels.
The dragon awakens.
The range is not infinite.
See.
Not a recovery Valk. That's true, it wasn't a recovery Valk. Okay.
Let's get you back out there.
Junkrat's not really giving you... Okay. If you can get the Hanzo, the Hanzo's giving you a window, he's giving you another. Now swap to Bap, he's more important. Good.
Where does it hurt?
Good super jump. Swap to the Hanzo, he's got the power going. Unfortunate. Okay.
Fall back. Fall back.
Enemy turret destroyed. What is this power?
Push forward.
Don't. I don't care that he's feeding. You're done. You just leave. Leave. Good. No. Feeding, don't care. Feeding, don't care.
Let me show you how it's done.
Also feeding, still don't care.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay, damage boost is good. I'm not sure why you're flipping between these guys. Like, okay, you can heal the Reinhardt, but honestly, just staying mostly on damage boost on your BAP as you checked to make sure that there's no one up there, would have been fine with me. I suppose they don't have flank options, though, so that's fine.
Get inside. Let them up.
Okay.
Enemy turrets taken care of.
Damage increase.
Barrier is unstable.
Not gonna super jump up? Okay.
Let me get you patched up.
Let me show
My ultimate is ready. Go. I'll be watching over you.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't trust the BAP since he let the tank go down at the start. Not really a concern. There was significantly less pressure on your tank, but I understand.
30 seconds remaining.
get in the
Are we gonna... Wait, Angry Llama has a group called Bronze Bandits? That could be fun. Yeah, your tank was under significantly less pressure, danger there when I was telling you to just boost your BAP.
Don't let up.
Because it's not
almost
just what
over.
your support can do, it's also how much pressure the enemy position-wise is in, and the enemy wasn't in great positions to pressure your tank.
Reinhardt,
If
where
that's
would
a
you be
thing,
without me?
yeah, that could be a thing we could do, Levy. If he's got a group called the Bronze Bandits, are they mostly NA or EU? Because we probably want to do it all on one server. I don't know. I'd be interested in that.
Power
Okay. Okay. Should we snipe them, guys? Should we snipe his bronze bandits? I think we should. Okay. We need to coordinate that in Discord chat. Yeah, we need to coordinate that in Discord to get the answers of what we can field as a bronze team to battle that specifically. That could be fun.
Well done. Damage.
Junkrat's fine. Hanzo's probably a little better, but Junkrat's fine in this situation.
10 seconds
Yeah, Hanzo's now
remaining.
getting more aggressive. You want to boost him. And you have options. Like, you can be here boosting your Hanzo around the corner and still know that you have your BAP as an out. Like, this is a safe place for you to be because your allies are giving you other safe outs. You can super jump off your Rhine to get up here. You can boost through your BAP to get back to here. Like, based on where your other allies are, this is a reasonable place to be. Would this be a reasonable place to be if your whole team was right here? And all the opponents were here and could take this angle? No, it would not be. But it is because of where your allies are, and it'll let you get more done.
What is...
Okay.
Ich bin da.
I said this was a reasonable place, not this. Okay.
Regen burst activated.
Overtime.
Heilstrahl aktiviert. Heroes never die.
Great. Scary. Why? Why is your blaster out?
Damage increase.
Put your staff back out. Get your staff back out. There is plenty of chaining to do right here. Like, you can get a full chain off of your team right now. Why is your blaster out? If you didn't have good chain options, sure. If you needed to go contest like a Widowmaker specifically or someone on an off angle that your team couldn't get to, sure. But there's no reason to have your blaster out right now. You can get like full chain value. Plus, as you're so busy dodging this self-destruct, you want to be able to go, I can see an ally that I can chain off of rather than have my blaster out, because if I have my blaster out while I'm trying to avoid this self-destruct, ooh, that's scary. Like, you're trying to, like, go in here so that you can get targets, and that almost gets you in trouble again. And now you're staring at a self-destruct, and you could stare at explosions, though, you know, cool people don't stare at explosions, while you're beam bouncing everyone and still be providing value. Right now, you're staring at the explosion with your blaster out, and that's doing nothing.
All systems.
I'm on fire!
You should be at peak performance levels.
Again, you can get full beam bounce value right now. You don't need your blaster.
We make a great team.
You do not have helpless allies who can't hit anything. Like, this is not a case of you have to take it all into your own hands. Okay. Okay.
Round 1.
So we held that first Valk way too long. And then we, with the second Valk, were way too blaster hungry when we had lots and lots of good beam bounce targets. So those definitely scream at us in terms of things that we can address. We could, you know, get a little better on some of the micro with our target selection for who's actually being the most aggressive. The Pharah at the beginning, bouncing between our Hanzo, Pharah, Junkrat, Sigma. Some better choices. A little bit more checking back on our team when we were boosting our Pharah for the Pharmacy Soldier Mercy fight, but nothing too wild. The biggest thing really was holding that Valk forever.
Powered up.
If I flip through too many targets in 1 second, it means I can't decide what to do. It shouldn't. You might flip between a bunch of targets in 1 second because over the course of 1 second, the best target is changing. Like, that happens. That is a thing that happens. Does bronze mean within queuing together range? You think they're all less than 1500 SR? Okay. You were wanting to shoot Baby Diva so she can't remech. I understand that you wanted to take her down so that she can't remech, but you literally could have bounced your beam between all 5 allies, and they also would have liked to take down Baby Diva. I think most of them, if not all of them, were looking at Baby Diva. So, like, even if only 3 of them were looking at Baby Diva, that's still more than you're going to do. to her, so like let them do it. Help them. I get what you wanted, but like the solution was not to go do it yourself, it was to make them stronger because they were trying to do it.
Taking off.
5, 4, 3,
Damage amplified.
1. Attackers incoming.
Let me get you patched up.
Escort the
Okay.
payload.
Fine. Again, you're okay, fine. It's the turret. I'll deal with that. If no one else is gonna deal with the turret, that's actually right.
Enemy turret neutralized.
Okay.
Let's get
Cool.
you back out there.
Who's your support partner now? A Moira. So you just pretend your tank doesn't exist and damage beam it up.
You should be at peak performance level.
Good show or good guardian. Not sure why you're damage boosting your Rhine so hard here. Like, there's better targets. Better targets for sure. You can't really get on Sigma, but Genji would be a good damage boost target right now because you see that, hey, there's red back here. My Genji is in position to hit it. I can beam my Genji, that works. You could beam your Hanzo instead. Your Hanzo's got things. This is probably the easiest target to get value off of, so you'd probably go, hey, boost my Genji. My Genji will throw 3 shurikens at a time. That's probably your best bet. Healing the Rhine is not your best bet. Okay, boosting the Hanzo, sure. Okay, now you're gonna have to use your Rhine to get to your Hanzo.
You need a doctor? Damage increased.
Great.
Reinhardt, where would you be without me?
Was waiting for Rhine to fire strike, but he never did. Yeah, that's not that high priority. Like, if you can catch the Rhine's fire strikes for damage boost, cool. That is cool. But it's really not super high priority. It's a move that does 100 damage and it pierces through multiple opponents if it can hit them, but it's not that hard to dodge. Whereas, think about what your Hanzo is doing with each arrow, what your Genji is doing per second. Like, if you can catch it, yeah, it's solid. It's solid. Hey, I got the boost on a thing that does 100, maybe does more, maybe misses. That's cool. And then you can flip, and then you get others, but you do sort of go, I'd like to get it, but it's not as high priority as like Storm Arrow, for example, in terms of not missing that, or Ash TNT in terms of not missing that, or no, I'm gonna leave it at those for now. Okay.
Damage amplified.
Okay. But good on you for thinking about that. Thinking about, hey, his fire strike is up, that should come up now. He's in a position where he should want to use that. That is how you want to be thinking about Mercy.
You should be at peak performance level.
Right idea. Good. Well microed. We would have liked to get that last bit of micro right for the boost on our Hanzo, but in general that was well microed.
Healing stream
Almost. Urine will be a significant amount of his own follow-up here. So if you want to damage boost him, go for it. But that's damage boost. He shouldn't be taking much damage because he just hit a shatter. So that's damage boost. You can still switch it. Even though he's through a wall, you can still switch it. Oh.
Healing stream engaged.
Not that hard to dodge. The reviews sometimes say differently. Yeah, we have a few frequent offenders of eating the fire strikes to the face without a diva.
Right beside you.
How much of a priority is it to boost coalescence? Worth. Like, it's worth it to boost coalescence because your coalescence is usually going to be hitting opponents and frequently multiple opponents. So it's good to boost coalescence, like no question about that. I would boost coalescence over most people's neutral. Yeah, I would boost Coalescence over most people's neutral. I wouldn't boost Coalescence necessarily over, say, oh no, Attack Visor. Yeah. You gotta eat those fire strikes if you want to
My
be good
ultimate
masters.
is almost
Ugh.
ready.
I mean, to be fair, guys, the Masters Reinhardts are more accurate with their fire strikes. They're better at predicting. They're better at aiming. Are we gonna look at this and go, hey, Valk, 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 heal Hanzo then Valk, just to put this away? We shouldn't need it, but are we going to? Okay. This wouldn't actually be an amazing Valk, but I'd be willing to do it. And I'd definitely be willing to do it over losing.
Heroes
Now it
never
becomes a
die.
better, yes, it's becoming a better Valk as time goes on, and this is fine.
You should be at peak performance levels. Let's get to that outfit.
You'll be fine. Okay, flip your target. Flip your target. It's not Genji anymore. It's your Reinhardt Sigma.
Damage increase.
What? Ugh. I get it. I get it. I get that you don't like turrets and you feel like no one deals with turrets. I was wrong to call you out on this turret over here. I'm not wrong this time. I'm not wrong this time. These guys want the help more than you contribute to breaking this turret. This turret isn't shooting at you. This turret is shooting at your Genji, who I might point out is deflecting. And even if it is shooting at him, your ability to heal all three of them is going to be worth more. Oh, excuse me, you can't heal all three of them anymore. But you can still heal individuals. Like this is not the play. Keep them up. I don't care that much about the turret. Your Genji's deflecting. Oh, and we're missing out on a Storm Arrow boost. And our Hanzo's gone.
Enemy turret neutralized.
Valk was fine. It's disappointing, but that's going to happen sometimes that your team went down. Obviously, the other team was using ults like Primal, so it's not completely a throw that they weren't able to win with the Valk, but your Valk was fine.
Where does it
Require
hurt?
healing.
Damage increase.
As a Rhine main, divas are the bane of my ult charge. Yeah. Okay. He's like 1? Oh. Does Diva Bomb have more ground spread than air spread of damage? No, not particularly. Looks like I accidentally clicked on Bully Portal instead of new, cool, better coach. Larpmet stream. Okay, good luck with that, Adam. Good luck with that.
Don't stop now.
Mercy has been domed by many a Hanzo, but when they're on your team, it's cool. Okay, where's he going? Where's he going? Okay.
We make a great team.
We realize that this is over?
60 seconds remaining.
Don't.
Get them
Just
off.
leave. Good. I don't care that your Moira is speeding. I don't. You're just gonna have to do without her. You can't save her. You can try and save her here, but don't go up here to do it. Heal or damage boost the Hanzo, rather than pull out the blaster. I'm not sure why you're so attached to this blaster. I'm really not. Like, the blaster is a good, I was pocketing someone, the person I was pocketing got eliminated, and now I'm stuck in a one-on-one without anyone to GA to. Can I finish off by winning the 1v1 with my blaster? It can also be used when you're Valking to go clear something, like a Widow your team can't contest, something on high ground, something in a place that your team can't contest because they're foolishly not running Diva. Like, it's good for those things. It's not gonna see that much use out of those situations. Like, unless you were pocketing someone and they went down, it's usually not worth it to put in and now you're left to your own devices, it's usually not worth it to pull out this blaster. That doesn't mean that you can not aim. You have to be able to aim with your blaster, but generally not worth.
You should be at peak performance level.
Oh, it's a good one, Adam. Good one, Adam.
Let me get
You admit you like your blaster too much? Moira's somewhere around she can heal. Okay, so damage boost. Damage boosting to coalescence, good. Yeah, Hanzo's on his own over there.
healing stream engaged.
You could work your way across, though. If you want to slingshot your way past your Sigma to get to your Hanzo, that'd be cool. We're not going across the lava to do it, though. Just because it drives me wild. Don't actually report them. Don't actually report them. But like, what is this? What? No. What are you doing? I know you're trying to go around the lava, but look, the lava's gone. Like, you're probably thinking I need to go around the lava to get here to heal my Reinhardt. More likely, you're thinking I need to go around the lava so I can pick on their Mercy or Moira. So, my goodness. What a throw. What a throw. You shouldn't be healing your Reinhardt right now. You should have been, over here assisting your Hanzo. Like, again, if your Hanzo and your Junkrat win this, you're going to win the fight. But, Moira. Okay. No, your cover's fine. I just wanted you to transition off of your to use your Sigma to slingshot you to the Hanzo, where you'd have different cover, and you could help your Hanzo win this. Your cover's been fine. You have had some situations where you've been a little too, skittish, like, I'm going to stay fully behind cover no matter what, as opposed to peeking here more frequently to change your tethers when they weren't paying attention to you. If the opponents aren't paying attention to you and they don't have, a Widow to one-shot you, you can get more, you can go, hey, I don't need this perfect cover. I can have this, where I can take a step back. Some stuff like that, but your cover's mostly been fine. Okay. Okay, and now we're gonna Valk.
Heroes never die.
Great. Okay. Boost this, but check over here to see what's going on, because you hear footsteps near your Hanzo. Yeah, there you go. You do, perfect. Not sure why you're healing. Not sure why you're healing. Good, damage boost it is. You don't actually, okay. I was gonna say, you don't really need to damage boost that. Great.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Last time I said your cover was rubbish. Yep. If DPS Moira is best DPS on your team, shouldn't you hard pocket their aggression when they flank? DPS Moira is not best DPS on your team. Next, you're going to tell me she's not a tank buster either. Laura said it's better to heal your Moira that's DPSing, so they are harder to eliminate. It's a valid pocket target. I overheal because Moira rubbish. We've been over this. We've been over this. We can address this again if you really want, but you do not want to let yourself as Mercy get tricked into going, I need to heal people to full because, my other support isn't fast enough, etc. Like, you don't want to get yourself tricked into those situations. You can still do it. I heal to 60%. I heal to 50%. I heal to 70% type stuff, and then convert back to blue beam. You can still do it even if your other support isn't doing much. It's just going to take you longer to get them to triage thresholds because you're not getting a help. Or to stop triage thresholds. Can we discuss Zen DPS pocket for a moment? We can, but our discussion is going to be 2 thumbs up. Because that's actually a real thing. Like, Sniper Zen, come on now. Yeah, given that it's bronze, shouldn't they prioritize boosting Reinhardt, who can't miss swings? Oh, you overestimate the Reinhardts. The DPS haven't been bad, though. Like, that Hanzo, that's a Storm Arrow. Junkrat just got in a limb, you know.
I'm here.
Like, Reinhardt can't be doing anything right now. He's just pushing cart, so yeah, boosting the Junkrat who's lobbing, low probability to hit but could hit, is the right thing to do. Don't get baited. Stop short. You wanted to stop short and tuck right, not stop short and back out, because there's not a good back to go to. Swap to DPS, or swap to damage. You already see heals coming in. Swap to damage. Okay.
Healing stream engaged.
Not sure why you're on heals. Not sure why you're on heals. You want to help break that Winston stuff. That's a rock! That's a rock that could have been boosted!
Damage increase.
Mm-hmm.
Right beside you. Surrender to my will.
I mean, that's kind of right. Using your blaster to clear a place that your team can't get to? Usually you only do that with Valk, but hey, and in doing so we lost our Junkrat, so definitely not right, but like, yeah. Funny. Funny.
The prognosis is not good. Allow me to let me just keep up. Let's keep it moving. They're all over me. Enemy turret within my sight.
Okay.
Healing stream engaged.
Okay, easy peasy. You're gonna boost your Hanzo. That's not a boost. That's not a boost.
Valkyrie is ready.
The Storm Arrow! The Storm Arrow! This Winston could be eliminated!
Damage increase.
Good. You boosted past.
Needed a doctor.
Not sure why you're on heals. Good. Swap. It's that beautiful Storm Arrow that you just now converted to damage boosting. Okay, it's not a beautiful Storm Arrow, but like, you know, he's trying. He's trying. Try to help him. I do not know what Storm Arrow looks like. It's when his bow goes blue, but it'll also give you voice cues for it. I've pointed them out a couple times. But you should also be tracking his cooldown. Like, he's... Here we are. "10-second cooldown." You want to sort of mentally have a bit of a tracking going on of that. Not, you know, it doesn't need to be the most important thing for you to track, but if you start tracking your own teammates' cooldowns, this is one of the better ones to track because this is one of the better things to boost. And he's going to use it a little more predictably than Junkrat is necessarily going to use Mines because Junkrat holds 2 charges. So you'd like to boost Mines, but Junkrat can be a little harder to... It's not that he's harder to predict. Junkrat will give you pretty predictable Mines, but but tracking the cooldown on Junkrat is less important. That said, tracking Hanzo's Storm Arrow at this point is not the most important thing for you. When his bow turns blue, boost him. Tips on ult tracking, I'm a noob. Tips on ult tracking, sure. So it can be a little hard at lower SRs because people are unreliable, but you determine at your SR how many fights does it usually take someone to get ults. And at a very, very basic level, and you'll get more precise with this, you can start like this. People do not have ults every fight, but people do tend to have ults every other fight. Start from there and adjust your tracking. So you go, hey, they didn't use Molten Core last fight. They have Molten Core. They didn't use Primal last fight. They have Primal. That's how you're going to start. And then you're going to adjust it to the actual SR that you're in terms of how long does it actually take people to get ults. You're going to adjust it based on, did someone go down particularly quickly? Like, did they go down first in the fight? Then I'm going to say no, they don't have it every other fight because they went down early in one or both fights, so they won't have gotten a lot of ult charge. Or we just rolled their team so they didn't get a lot of ult charge. Or did I see someone get like 3 of their portraits on this side, a lot of portraits on this side? Maybe they got their ult a little bit faster. So start by just sort of going, if you're trying to track ults for everyone, not just one person, you would go, hey, I am going to treat it as they get their ult every other fight, and I'm going to start making adjustments from there based on at my rank, what pace do people actually get their ults at for the heroes, and where are they in the feed, how fast did the fight happen, things like that. That would be one way. That's what you do if you were trying to be an ult tracker for organized play. If you're just worried about, hey, I want to break into ult tracking one at a time for individual play, I'm not going to be the ult tracker. I just need to know because ult tracking is something that everyone does. You pick one ult on the other side and you start tracking it. Maybe you're Mercy and you think, hey, I want to know when they have Valk. That's important to me. So you start tracking that particular Mercy's Valk, and you sort of mirror it against your own. You mirror it against how long does it usually take to get Valk. You know how much healing you're doing. You know how pretty well how much damage your team is doing because you're choosing what to boost best at any good moment. You're knowing when they went down in the fight, and you're specifically trying to track that they have their Valk. And then once you get to the point where you're pretty darn accurate with tracking the Valk, you go, okay, now I'm going to track the other support ult. Or maybe you go, I'm going to track the off tank because the off tank is sometimes Zarya and I want to know, or sometimes it's Zarya, sometimes it's Sigma, and I want to know when I need to be further away from my team so I don't get caught in those because that's important to me. So now I'm tracking Mercy and this. And once I feel comfortable, I add in a third thing. And that third thing might be the other support. And you just work your way out like that. Those are sort of the 2 ways to go about it. That's nice, Adam. That's nice. Yeah, Glossy, I should do a video on ult tracking. That would be a good idea. I'll do that at some point, but probably not today. Larpo Matt.
Let's get you back out there. You should be at peak performance level. I'm with you.
No problem, Glossy. Okay. Does this Sigma who's behind a wall need healing? Do they? Do they? Okay. You can still Valk this. Now it's going to be tough. Yeah.
Healing stream engaged.
Get the res off.
Let's
Valk,
get you back in
Valk,
the fight.
Valk, 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 Valk. You're still in this fight. Can we please Valk?
I'm taking care of you.
Like, I'm okay. You might be thinking to yourself, I don't want to Valk this fight because I want to Valk next fight because next fight is harder because next fight is the one where we're on top of their spawn and we need to win this with less ult so that we can win this. But remember, Valk gives everyone damage boost. Valk is like, here, let's just all charge ults faster. Like, Valk is great. You can absolutely afford to use Valk here. Now you can't use Valk here because you've already won, but...
Powered up. Let's get you back out there.
You should still Valk this.
The
Like, you should
payload
still
is
Valk this.
approaching its
Why are we not
destination.
Valk? Why are we not Valk? Okay.
Victory.
So I'm unclear. It's not that I'm unclear. I know, because you don't want to have any bad Valks. But I would rather you have some bad Valks than you hold your Valks way too long like you were. Your first Valk of the game took way too long to come out, and we pointed out at least 2 places where you could have used it before then, and there were probably 3 or 4 totally reasonable places to use Valk before it. And same thing with this last Valk, you held it way too long. And then your Valk at the end of the first round, you just used way too much blaster on. In general, you're using the blaster too heavily. Like the 2 things that I would say is, well, for the middle of the match, we're doing a better job with your Valks. You have way overcorrected, and your desire to not have bad Valks, you've way overcorrected, and you're not using Valk often enough. Valk does not take very long to charge. Valk is a pretty fast charging ultimate, especially if you're doing a good job with your damage boost, if you're getting to heal up tanks between fights, and it charges pretty fast. Like, it charges fast. You want to get good Valks, yes, and I'm always going to say, hey, let's look for better and better Valks, but that can't come at the cost of I've had Valk for 4 minutes. It just can't. So, like, I'm not going to say, like, oh, if you've had your Valk for more than 40 seconds, you're wrong, because you know that's not how it works. If you're just absolutely steamrolling them, so be it. But you do need to make sure that you're not holding on to it too long. You have overcorrected, and it is making you get probably maybe not less value because your middle stuff was fine enough, but like this could have been an easy win. This could have been a first point hold for you. Pretty easily, this could have been a first point hold for you. So, like, you might feel like, oh, I played better than my teammates, I did all that, etc. And maybe you did. I don't really care. But what you're looking at here is it is on you that you had to defend second and third point instead of just winning it on first point and having this be a very short match. So, like, if you're looking at this and going, what could I have done better? You definitely could have had more influence on this match with not so much even with a better ult, but yes, with a better ult, just by using your ult. Like, using your ult at a good time, and there were plenty of good times, and I think you get this, so I'm not going to super harp on it because I think I pointed them out enough and you probably saw it. But you don't want to be holding your ult forever. You do want to hit good timing with your Valks, but that's going to be like, it is a 6v6, it is a 3v3, but a 4v3, a 4v4, a 6v5. These are all fine Valks. You don't want to Valk into like a 3v6. You won't want to Valk into it's a 6v6, but my whole team is sitting in a grav and there's a dragon coming through or a blizzard going on, but you can totally Valk into a 4v4. And Valking into a 4v4 would have very much almost certainly held first, like very likely to. So, like, don't just let those be thrown away, and don't sit on your Valks forever. You want to actually use this. It charges pretty quickly. Yes, we want to use it well, but because it charges so quickly, what that tends to mean is we're pretty happy to just dump it early, not dump it, but spend it early in a 6v6. We're pretty happy to do that because it comes back so quickly. We don't have to go, oh, I don't want to use, I'm afraid of using this wrong, blah, blah, blah. Like, well, we can pretty reliably dump it in early in 6v6s, and it's going to win us that fight. Might we have won that fight anyways? Yeah. If we use a Valk into a 6v6 when we have defenders and positional advantage, and our win percentage goes from, 55 versus 45 to 65 versus 35, is that a bad Valk? No, that's a perfectly fine Valk. That's absolutely adequate. So, like, we have to make sure we're actually using our Valk. The next biggest thing is this blaster usage. Like, some blaster usage is okay. I wonder if you're going harder on your blaster usage because you feel like you're low right now, where you're going, hey, I can play better than these guys, so I'm going to pull out my blaster and outfrag them. I promise you that's not really the case. If you were like if you had like diamond blaster mechanics and you dropped into bronze, sure. You could speed your way through a little bit by pulling out your blaster and going, I'm going to do this until I get to like low gold. And that would be fine, but that's not the level of your blaster mechanic. So like, don't do that. Go ahead and damage boost people. That's not to say you can never pull out your blaster. Pulling out your blaster real quick to go, hey, I'm finishing this off. Hey, I'm doing this, has its uses. To go, I'm contesting this sniper, has its uses. But that diva was not a use. Blasting, the turret that was shooting at the deflecting Genji when your Hanzo desperately would have loved heals was not a use. At the sort of midpoint of second, that wasn't really a great use of your blaster. So you're pulling out your blaster too often. And remember, you do lose uptime. As you swap from your staff to your blaster, you're losing staff time. And as you swap from your blaster to your staff, you're also losing time. Whereas you're also losing flexibility. You're losing time on both switches, the switch to and the switch back, and you're losing the flexibility of your staff where it's like you can instantly pivot between helping, between healing, or boosting, both of which that's more flexibility than your blaster, which is I have to invest time to swap to get to a place where I can heal them. So yeah, those would be the two biggest things. Like, I can point out better micro stuff. I would like you to watch your Hanzo Storm Arrow better. I would like you to think about the flank power a little bit harder than you are. Like, you're not thinking quite enough about weight. The DPS on the flank is powerful. They are being aggressive. Like, if we go back to first, this is powerful. You want to be thinking about this. This person is about to do a lot of work. So rather than helping your core, if you can get over to this person is in a position to do a lot of work, and we would like to help that. This person is going to do a lot of work, and we would like to help that. This is okay, but this person is in an important battle, and we would like to help that more than we'd like to help that. So if I was to pick a third thing, it would be that. That might even be more important than the blaster, but really the by far most important thing that we're seeing from this game is the Valk actually has to get used. You're holding it too long for an ult that charges pretty quickly. So you know the drill. Work on these one at a time, and it's definitely going to be the Valk first, and you're going to work on them one at a time. I shouldn't give you three things. I should only give you two because I know what you're susceptible to. It's going to be the Valk, and it's going to be the blaster usage. Focus on the Valk first. The Valk is more important. And remember, you use your Valk. You'd like to use your Valk in even fights mostly, but if it's a 6v6, that's fine. If it's a 4v4, that's fine. If it's a 4v3, that's fine. If you feel like, well, I'm not really sure we need the Valk, we're up a little bit, in cooldowns, I don't care. If it's still a 6v6, you can use the Valk. Yes, as we get better, as we get more precise, we might go, I'm not going to Valk. We have defender's advantage. We have this. We have cooldown advantage. We have a little bit more health than they do. Yes, those are things that would cause you to potentially hold your Valk, but for now, just at the beginning of, early in 6v6s, I'm going to Valk. Or if you don't get your Valk until later in the fight, but you find the fight stabilizes in like a 4v4, 5v4 type scenario, great. Go ahead and pop that Valk. That's what we want to do. That's going to be helping you. Okay, let's catch up on questions here. And if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events are going on, all that good stuff. Okay, so you want a beanie with Valk on it? Your goal since last review was never bad res and never recovery Valk. Okay, that's fine. I don't think I've told you to recovery Valk here, and I don't think never bad res. Never is a strong word. Like, yes, don't bad res, but like, how do I want to put this? You didn't do any reses that I don't like here. But I'd be a little careful with that because the res can you do as Mercy you get really really good at finding borderline reses. Like the differential between great mercies and good mercies on the res ability is finding those borderline reses where it's like this is a 60% safe res and I'm gonna do it. This is a versus this is a 30% safe res and I'm gonna do it. So but that's different. We're talking more about reses into lost fights, I think. Yeah, we are talking more about reses into lost fights. I remember. Okay, so different issue. What does recovery Valk mean? Recovery Valk means you're trying to Valk to get into a fight that you're losing. So it's like a, hey, my team is all missing a bunch of health, or we're down 2, or we're down 1 and my team is missing a bunch of health. Let me Valk to try to like heal everyone back up to get us back into this fight type thing. And it's really not great for Mercy for a couple reasons. 60 health per second chaining really isn't that powerful. It's not Transcendence, where it's 300 health per second. It's not Sound Barrier, where you're giving everyone hundreds of health of temporary shields. It's not good for trying to get back into fight. It is much better as sort of a win more, as sort of a go from even to ahead than it is to try to go from behind to even. Much better. Valking to get yourself back into a fight that you should let go. Oh yeah, okay. You were just answering the question. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could have been. It could have been his fault too. The reality is, I'm sure everyone on your team did make plenty of mistakes, like plenty of mistakes. And if anyone had played better, you guys could have held first. But you definitely had the option to play better, to hold first. Like it's right there. We know that, and you were the one we're reviewing. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing Lamp come out. You guys are just talking about how he could have used his Lamp better. There's some accidents that even Bleach can't fix. Does being on fire as Mercy matter? Yeah. Um, the fire system isn't perfect, but it will reward you for doing things well. If you're getting a bunch of good assists, it will reward you. It will give you credit for some people's damage. So like if you're finding all the best things to damage boost, the Junkrat Mines, the Storm Arrows, the Sigma Rocks, the Fire Strikes, if you're finding all those good things, it will reward you with fire. Got nothing to ask for now. I'll go practice and fail less next time. You'll just fail differently, and it'll be less bad. That's fine. That's fine. Uh, isn't Valk a small enough ultimate to go for a fight saving Valk? Rarely. Very rarely, Moodman. So you don't really want to, because it's not going to get you back in so often. Like you're going to throw it away so much more often than it's actually going to save. Are there times when you're going to use a Valk to try to save a fight, like your team gets caught in a grab, but they're healthy in the grab and they don't have a follow-up bolt for it, and your Valk will save them? Yes. And you've probably seen reviews where just that has happened, and I've said absolutely nothing about it because it's fine. But you better know that the opponents don't have the tools to follow up on that grab, or your team gets shattered and the tools aren't there to follow up on it. Like your team gets shattered, but it's just Ryan following up on it, not anyone else following up on it. Yeah, they're going to happen. They are going to happen every once in a while. But you have to know the rules and know why the rules are to know when you can break the rules. That's kind of how it works for everything. Um, you have to know why we're trying to have you do something to know when you can afford to break it. But the reality is, most of the time, if you're trying to Valk to get back into fights that you've gone down in, it's not going to work. She puts her staff away for a moment when she Valks, or she stops beaming for a moment when she Valks. You often lose people. Like, if you're in a situation where you're trying to recover, you'll often lose people in the time that you put your staff away for the Valk. You're also going to run into 60 health per second to everyone really is not that much. You're also going to run into people of spread, and you tend to not be able to help them as much when you get to the point where you'd want to use a Valk to recover. And you also find that if you're trying to use Valk to recover, you're using the less effective mode. Remember, Mercy's healing is not as good as her damage boost. And if you're trying to use a Valk to recover, you're trying to lean heavily into this when this is what we do. If you use a Valk preemptively, you get to use a lot more of this. You get to go, we do a ton of this. As the fight goes on, we stabilize a little with this, and then we go back to this, and then once the Valk is over, we get to heal people a bunch and get 20%, 30% of our ult back. Is there more videos today? Yeah, there'll be more videos today. Fight saving Valk. If you heal a bunch of people up just to lose the fight, was free ult charge for the other team. Yeah. And fail by using Valk more. That's just a life tip there. We're no strangers to Valk. You know the rules, and so do I. Picking up tempo's what I'm thinking of. Let's not use it if a friend's already gone. Okay, okay. Half a second of downtime when you press Q is the scariest half second ever. That's true. That's true. Okay. Then that's going to do it. There will be more videos today. I might hop into another review, or I might hop into a brief discussion of the hero bands and my thoughts on it for Owl, or I might hop into a review of one of the L matches that happened over the weekend, because we haven't done that yet. But we'll do something, and I'll have something I'll probably start within the next 5 minutes or so. So I hope to see most of you there. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.